I'd like to invite Grant to the podium, and we'd love to spend a little time getting to know you.
Hello there, Dr. Bound and members of the board. I'm Grant LeCamp. I'm an interior design major here at Johnson County, and in fact, I'll be graduating next week. And I just wanted to tell you a little bit about myself. Interior design is a second career for me. And my first career was working for a federal government contractor in the Washington, D.C. area. In fact, I was with the Department of Defense, and my last job that I had was processing military officer nominations to the military services and also civilian positions in the Department of Defense for approval by the Secretary of Defense and the President of the United States. So it was very important work, and I loved my colleagues. They were all great people, but I was approaching 40 years old, and I'm thinking, okay, what am I going to do now? You know, because the work, while important, wasn't very challenging for me. So I was thinking that a career change might be in order. So I was thinking about what I wanted to do and what kinds of things I was good at, and so I decided on interior design. So in order to do that, I had to go back to school. I had already been for my bachelor's and my master's degree, but for interior design, I had to go back to school. So I also wanted to move back to the Midwest because my family lives in Oklahoma and Arkansas. And I also wanted to kind of get away from the D.C. area because the cost of living there was really outrageous. So I came to Kansas City here, and I enrolled at JCCC, and this is where I've been for the past 2.5 years. I would say that here at JCCC, I've probably learned more about myself in the past 2.5 years than probably I did the decade beforehand, really. And that's not just because of the classes I've taken and the people I've met here. It's also because of the extracurricular activities I've been involved in. Like I've been a board member in the Interior Design Student Association and a member of the Interclub Council. And I was also a member of the JCCC Art Collective. And I've also been involved in the Student Wellness Program. And my second internship that I completed for the Interior Design Program was on the JCCC Student Design Team for the KC Symphony Designer Show House. And so all of which has been a really wonderful experience. And I'd like to repay that in this forum by mentioning some of the professors that really inspired me and made my time here so wonderful. Like, first of all, the entire interior design faculty just across the board is really, really good people. Really, really great people. And especially Darla Green and Catherine Gruby, whom I had the most classes with. And also in the drafting program, Lydia Klein and David Modelbog were great people too. And in my art classes that I took, Keiko Kira for my drawing 1 class and Terry Namer for my design color class. And also in my student wellness class, Sarah Abdalon, who runs the meditation and mindfulness group. And all of that has been a really wonderful experience. So again, I'd like to thank you for this opportunity to address you tonight.
Any questions for Grant?
Congratulations on your graduation, and what a career change. So thank you for giving a shout out to your instructors as well. I just want to know what's going out of style and what should we rip out of our house at like wainscoting, or what color is out?
Well, let's see. Well, I can tell you. Let's see what's coming back in right now. I mean, there's modern design is always in style, and all sorts of contemporary sort of spare style is always in right now. So you really can't go wrong with that. But I mean, it's about making the client, the customer, happy. We had an example in my kitchen and bath design class where our teacher, Christine Armstrong Scott, who owns Armstrong Kitchens, she took this project that she had and it turned into a project for us. So in the real life project, the client loved purple. Really loved purple. So they got all the fixtures and the tile and everything in, and then the client painted the room themselves, sort of a reddish purple type, red violet type color. So, it's like, not to a lot of people's taste, but I mean, the clients were thrilled. They were just really happy with the color and the tile job, and that's what's important, to make the clients happy.
Thank you. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chair,
Designed.
Trustee Musil.
I want to ask you what wainscoting is, but I'm not going to. You're an example of somebody who came here, if I did the math right, spring of 2021.
That's right.
So we're still in COVID. We're starting to come out of it. But tell us about your experience from starting in a COVID environment and then moving back toward in-person classes. How did you navigate that, and how did we as a college handle that?
Well, first of all, it was a big change for me because the last time I was in school was in 2004. So, Zoom and stuff didn't even exist. So that was a totally new concept for me. My first semester, most of my classes were on Zoom, except for a hand drafting class, which was in person. I think for the most part it was handled pretty well. It was a bit of a change, and we still have issues, with Zoom, trying to figure out who's going to talk, people talking over each other and things like that. But for the most part, it worked pretty well, I think. I mean, by the time we got, I'm not going to lie, by the time we got back to in-person classes, I was ready to be back in in-person classes. So I was really happy about that. But still, it went pretty well. It was a good experience. Not always smooth, but for the most part, it went pretty well.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Grant? Trustee Smith Everett.
Thank you. First of all, I want to say congratulations. That time next week will be a lot of fun, and I chose really bright colors today because it's just a great time of year to celebrate all of you that put in so much hard work to be here. So just two quick questions. My first one is, do you feel like you have belonged here at JCCC? And if so, can you describe or explain what it is that has made you feel that you belong or not? And then my other question is, what are you going to do next?
Well, first of all, regarding belonging, yes, I've felt very accepted, and I feel I do belong here. I admit I was a little bit nervous coming here, because I was going to school with people half my age and such. So I was, as I was telling Dr. Bound, I was a little bit nervous about they'd run circles around the old man here. So, but I've managed to hold my own. So, and I think I've done a reasonably good job with that. So. But yeah, no, everyone has made me feel very welcome here. I haven't met one, as I was saying, nasty person once, really. I mean, everyone here has been wonderful. And we're just like my fellow students and I in interior design, we're like a family, really. I mean, we text each other and, email and such, and we're saying, yes, we got to stay in contact with each other when we get out into the field there. So yes, I've felt like I belong very, very well here. And as for next, I know a lot of my fellow students are going to a four-year university, but I'm getting out into the industry there. So I'm on the job search now. So I'm looking around at different design firms and showrooms and such around the Casey area. So. Hopefully I'll be able to get a position with one of them.
Fantastic. Well, thank you and congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions for Grant? Grant, thank you very much. Best of luck.